Hey there, Susan. Sorry to bother you, but I was just curious if you knew where I put my pen case. I know that I had it on my desk when I left work yesterday, but I haven't seen it all day since arriving this morning.
Good morning, Pearl. I'm really sorry to say, but I have no idea where that could be.
I see. But the thing is that the pen case is just a really popular brand known for how cute and stylish it is. And you and I are the only women in our whole department, so I just really can't see why anyone but you would be interested in taking it. But if you think that you can treat me like that just because I'm new here, then you've got another thing coming. I know that you're just hiding it from me.
Wait a second, let's slow down for just a moment. You said that you remember it being on your desk when you went home yesterday evening, right?
That's right. I was using it pretty much until the end of the day, so I know that it had to be there when I left.
Okay, so you know it had to be on your desk at that time. The only thing is that I actually left for a business trip in the afternoon was probably up in the air, but the time you were leaving the office yesterday.
Ooh, wait, you had to go on a business trip?
Yep, I had to fly all the way to New York, so it wasn't like I could pop back into the office anyways.
Oh, well, I had no idea that you were on a business trip.
Well, I take it that you're at the office right now, yes? So why don't you just ask others who are there if they've seen it, and not to worry about whether it was a guy or a girl who took it? I mean, we've all been there. When we need a pen and can't find one. I have a mug full of pens that are free for people to take just in case something like this happens.
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll just use one of those for now.
That's no problem. Anyways, I'm about to start a meeting up here, so we'll talk later.
Susan, is it true that you're really going to be getting married?
Oh, wow, I guess the office grapevine works quite quickly, doesn't it?
But I thought that you were already like 45 years or something like that, right? You mean to tell me that you've never been married before now? Is everything all right?
What do you mean is everything alright? I'm afraid I don't understand.
I mean, this guy isn't like some scammer or something like that, right?
Well, I certainly hope not. I would be in quite a bit of a trouble if he was.
But I heard about this on the news once. There are plenty of men out there who are looking to marry middle-aged women who make a lot of money just so that they can take all of it for themselves. Are you sure that you're not being targeted for something like that right now?
I really don't think that there is anything to be worried about in my marriage. Thank you for offering your concerns, though. I think things are going to be just fine, though. In fact, the man that I'm going to marry is someone that I've known since I was in my 20s, and is very close with my family. In fact, we've basically been dating for the past decade or so. But due to various circumstances, we were never able to actually get married until now.
Wow, I had no idea any of this was going on for you at all, Susan.
Well, I don't like to talk about my private life too much at work. I wasn't trying to hide anything from anyone, but no one ever asked about it, so I didn't see any reason to announce it either, although the bosses and management here knew about this for some time.
I see. Well, thank you so much for explaining all of that to me. I really appreciate it.
Sure thing, you seemed very worried for me, so I just wanted to lay those to rest. Hey Pearl, are you there? You do know that the workdate has already started, right? Are you going to be late today as well?
Well. If it isn't Miss Susan. That's right, I'm going to be late, actually. But I'm working on a different project for my career right now.
A different project? I don't understand. What are you talking about?
I mean that I found a way to climb the corporate ladder in this place. And so I've been given a very important role that I'm fulfilling.
I'm sorry, but I'm still not following at all. I don't remember hearing about anything like that. And I doubt that someone still going through their trial period at the company would be given any sort of extra important assignment.
Well, I suppose that just goes to show what you know, huh? Because of the fact of the matter is that I'm special and you're not.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Listen, Susan, I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the day off, and you can take over for my projects today.
I'm sorry, but you do realize that by acting this way, I'm going to have to make a comment that will be brought up at the end of this trial period, right? And I'm most certainly not going to be doing your work for you.
Sorry, don't have time to read all that. I'm going on a spa day with my boyfriend.
Pearl, you can't just ditch work like this. Honestly, you're acting completely irresponsible.
Oh, Susan, are you there?
Hello, Pearl. I really can't believe that you didn't show up at all for work today. Just what has gotten into you?
I knew you were going to bring that up, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to let you in on a little secret so that you'll finally know how to get off my back and do as I say.
Just what are you going on about now?
Well, the boyfriend I mentioned is actually none other than Brian Colehouse.
Wait a second. Brian, as in the CEO's son, Brian?
That's right. The very one and the same. So when I say that I'm away on special duty or need some time off, I don't want to hear any gripes from you again.
Now hold on a second. I don't see how one thing relates to the other. I don't really care what you do in your private life, but you should keep that separate from your professional one.
You seriously make me so mad. Do you know that?
What do you mean? What is wrong about what I'm saying?
I mean that you're not getting the point that I'm trying to make, and it's pissing me off.
I'm sorry, but I think the one failing to see the important points here is you, Pearl.
Oh, and one more thing. I know all about your little secret.
My secret? Can you please just start making sense already?
I know that you stole some of the money that the company gave you for your business trip and pocketed it.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
You were so close to getting away with it too. It would have been the perfect crime.
And just who told you that I did something like that?
Brian did, of course. And there's no way that he would be wrong about something like this.
Well, he is, because that is just not true.
But who would ever want to marry an old woman who steals from her own company? That's why I knew I had to make Brian mine.
Again, no idea what you're talking about at all.
Well, not only is Brian young and rich and the heir to the company, but he also said that he would fire you when he's in charge.
Okay, Susan. I have just about had it all with all the crazy talk. I seriously have no idea where you or Brian are getting your information, but this is just becoming malicious.
Oops, I've got to go now. Brian is calling me. We booked a whole week in this amazing spa hotel in the mountains, so I won't be showing up to work until I get back.
Now wait just 1 second. You can't just say all of these things and run off.
Enjoy your lonely life, you old hag. I'm so sorry for stealing Brian from you.
I still have no idea what you're talking about, Susan. What is the matter with you?
I'm back from my vacation. Oh man, Brian and I were all over each other in the steamy hot baths. A week wasn't enough to spend with such an amazing future CEO. And to think that one day I'm going to be his wife.
Pearl, I just want you to know that after you send me those messages, HQ sent someone to investigate our branch for embezzlement.
Really? They actually showed up to our branch? Does that mean you're finally fired? Brian promised me it would happen when he was in charge, but he acted even faster just to make me happy. My heart is so full. And just know that you have no one else to blame but yourself for being caught in your crime.
Actually, someone was fired, and that person was Brian.
Wait, what do you mean?
You're in the office today, right? I think you should head to the meeting room right away.
I don't understand. What's going on? Hey, what the heck was all of that back there, huh? I don't understand what just happened. I walked into that room and had a job, and now I'm leaving and I'm fired? This isn't right. I was supposed to marry the next CEO of our company. How did this happen to me?
Pearl, allow me to correct one mistake that you still don't seem to be aware of making.
What do you mean? What mistake did I make?
Well, you seem to be under the impression that Brian and I were getting engaged to be married. Is that right?
Wait a second. You mean that you weren't engaged to marry Brian? But I thought that everyone in the office told me that you were going to be marrying some future CEO or something like that.
And they were correct in telling you that. But the person that I'm going to marrying is the next CEO of one of our important business partners.
A business partner? Are you kidding me?
That's what I said, and it's one of the largest partners in fact.
You're kidding me! I had no idea about any of this!
And another thing that you got wrong, the next CEO of our company is not Brian.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean that I'm sure Brian bragged to you that he was the next in line to take over the company simply because he's the oldest son. But the fact is that the current CEO hasn't decided who is going to be taking over yet. But for now, the most likely candidate would be his niece, who is the regional director for one of our largest branches.
So then, in that case, what is Brian in all of this?
Well, he's being groomed for upper management, it's true. But for now, he hasn't graduated beyond being just another worker. And he's been in that same position for years now. So I don't know if he'll ever get a promotion.
He's been in the same position? For years?
And here's another thing that you got wrong. I wasn't the one embezzling. Brian was.
Please, there has to be some kind of mistake here.
No, I'm afraid it's very true. But if it's any consolation, the CEO did want to thank you for revealing exactly who it was doing all of that.
What is that supposed to mean? I didn't even say anything.
No, not directly. But when you said that you were spending a week on a spa vacation with Brian, it confirmed some suspicions that the CEO had about where certain company funds were going.
So then, he figured it all out from my messages?
Pretty much, although Brian was also worried that he was close to getting caught. And so before your trip, he had already begun to spread rumors that I was embezzling since I took the most business trips. Before anything too serious could happen to me, however, you revealed exactly where you were and what you were doing with Brian.
But I didn't know that I was going to get him in trouble.
But you did. You came to me trying to brag about stealing a man who was never mine, and you blew up your own good deal.
No, this can't be happening. I thought it was just a little spa vacation.
Well, going on that trip made you complicit in the illegitimate use of company's funds. Not to mention, it's doubled the amount of money spent if Brian has gone on his own.
But this is really bad for me, right? I could get in a lot of trouble for this.
Why do you think that you were fired in the first place? You and Brian both were.
But if Brian was fired, then he's never going to be the CEO.
I just told you that it was unlikely he was ever going to be more than he was right now. I warned you that you were still on your trial period with this company, but you thought you could go on doing whatever you wanted.
Please, I just need one more chance. I didn't realize what I was doing.
Oh, please. We both know that it's way too late for any of that.
But why?
Well, for one, even though I'm your boss, even I don't have that kind of power.
Wait, you're my boss?
You really aren't the brightest bulb of the bunch, are you? Anyways, I hope that I've cleared up any confusion for you.
Wait, no. Please, you have to help me.
Goodbye, Pearl. Following the audit from HQ, Brian was found to have embezzled upwards of $50,000. He was forced to repay the company from his own pocket and was saddled with a huge amount of debt before being fired.
It wasn't long afterwards that the present CEO stepped down and handed the reins of power to his niece. She's already begun to implement several reforms to how company money is spent, and the whole new system has taken some getting used to.
As for Pearl, she ended up canceling her engagement to Brian and split the cancellation fees for all the reservations they had made. After her firing, Pearl was forced to take on multiple part-time jobs to afford to live. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Jenny, are you there? Can we talk?
Oh, hello, Cynthia, was it? I'm on my company break now, so I'm okay for 10 minutes or so.
Oh, I see. You're talking to your future, possible mother-in-law, and you give me a time limit to talk?
That has nothing to do with it. It's just that this is the only opportunity for a little free time. I'm really busy the rest of the day. I need this break.
But if you are going to get along with me in the future, I recommend that you make me your priority.
I really can't make such a promise.
Excuse me?
Anyway, what's this about? I don't have much time left on my break. I have to shut off my phone when my break ends, so I would appreciate it if you could get on with it.
Your precious little break, huh? All right. Well, your attitude is part of it too, so yes, let's get on with it. I'm contacting you because, well, I want you to quit your job.
Pardon me?
I said, if you want to marry my son, I want you to quit your job.
Why should I do that?
Because it would interfere with you being a good housewife. That's why. If you can't do that, well, I will not allow you to marry my son. I would ask you to terminate the relationship.
That's being a little selfish, wouldn't you say?
It's that, or you're gone. I will not change my views.
I really don't think Brad agrees to this. I mean, he has a say in this too.
Brad has nothing to do with it. If I say no, he'll go along with it without question.
Are you serious?
Yes, of course I am. I know my son. Brad has always been obedient. He cares for his mother and father. Although I was surprised that he picked a woman like you. But I'm sure you talked him into all this. I don't know what you said to him, but I know you probably tricked him. I'm sure if I have a little talk with him, he'll realize his mistake.
Do you really think I tricked Brad into loving me? Why would I even do that?
Oh, please, just pipe down, would you? I don't want to hear any more of your back talk. I was right. You really need more discipline if you're going to marry my son. I will allow you to marry my son if you agree to quit your job and have me train you to be a good housewife. If you can't do that, I will not give my blessing to this marriage.
I'm sorry, my client just arrived. I have to go. We'll talk later.
Huh? What? Wait a second, Jenny. Just have the guy wait. This is more important. Didn't I just say to give your future mother-in-law top priority? Jenny, pick up. You will regret treating me like this.
Hey, Brad. When do you think I should tell your mom about my job?
I'm not sure. I guess it all depends on your dad's situation. Hey, did Mom contact you and say something?
Yeah, she said if I didn't quit my job, she wouldn't allow me to marry you.
Wait, what?
Maybe you should take a look at my line conversation with her today. Probably way faster. I'll send that portion to you.
Alright, go for it. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Doesn't she realize what kind of trouble we'd be in if you quit your job? Besides, I'm the one marrying you, not her. It's what I want.
Thanks for that, Brad. Makes me feel way better. But no matter what she says, there's no way I'm going to quit my job. Or should I say, it's impossible.
Yeah, well, I guess she doesn't know all the details, so she'll say what she wants.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We're just two people who fell in love and plan to get married. But it's really not that simple. There's that little point about your father that makes it complicated.
Yeah, I know. I really didn't want to tell my mom about it so soon, but she brought up the thing about introducing this girl. My mom, the great matchmaker. She was always trying to introduce me to one prospective wife or another. Anyways, it all depends on my dad, I suppose.
Maybe we should sit down with your dad sometime soon and discuss this. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe we have no other choice. The situation between you and Mom is getting way out of hand. Probably better to straighten this thing out ASAP.
Yeah, let's do that. Thanks, Brad.
Jenny, are you there? Or are you on your break and you can't talk? Just so you know, I called your office and told them that you'll be retiring from the company.
Excuse me?
I recently came into some interesting information. Apparently, you work for a company that does business with my husband's company. Is that true?
Where did...
This makes everything way easier. I told them all the negative aspects that I learned about you ever since Brad brought you home. I told them straight up, if you don't fire her right this minute, my husband will terminate all accounts with your company.
Hold on a second. What did you just say? What's going on? Mother? Why go so far?
My husband's company is one of the biggest and most influential companies around here. I figured your company was a mere subcontracting company, and you're just a lowly desk clerk. I'm right, aren't I? I'm sure the company HR department will contact you pretty soon, so you better be ready to accept the consequences. If you had just obeyed my request, I wouldn't have taken it this far.
Mother, I really don't know what you're talking about.
Now come on, Jenny. Look at the bright side. Now that you have no job, you can marry Brad, and I can start teaching you how to be a good housewife. What more can you ask for? I did you a favor.
I can't understand why you would go so far to make me quit.
It's for your own good.
Okay then, I guess I'll just have to terminate all negotiations with your husband's company.
Pardon me?
Cynthia, I know you've never worked a day in your life. I think that fact has worked to your disadvantage.
What are you talking about?
I have no problem with you being a full-time housewife and mother, don't get me wrong. But just because your husband owns a company doesn't give you the right to chime in regarding business matters. And I have to be honest, what you just did, that's blackmail. And you did it without even understanding the circumstances.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. After all that, you still talk like that. Well, that means I'm going to have to give you an even tougher curriculum. You better be ready for lots of sleepless nights.
I think it's going to be you who won't sleep well moving forward.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure how you'll take this. Will you just sulk and give up, or will you deem this as a lesson learned and change your ways? Which will it be? It's all up to you, Cynthia.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't understand you, Jenny. Why can't you make a little bit more sense and accept who you are? Jenny, pick up right this minute. We have to talk. What am I going to do? My husband just asked me for a divorce. He said that in order for the company to avoid bankruptcy, I'm an impediment. He said I would drag the company down. On top of that, he said that you're the CEO of the company my husband is working with. That can't be right, can it? Apparently, your company is way bigger and more influential than my husband's.
Yes, that's right. I really hate comparing our respective companies. You know which is bigger or more influential. We all have our good points and bad points, but your husband's company is currently on the verge of bankruptcy. And with the loss of a major client, that may be inevitable.
Why? Why did things end up this way?
I would ask you the same question, Cynthia. Why?
I really don't know.
It's because you've been obsessed with status. Brad was slated to take over from your husband someday as president. You figured you were the head of the family, as if you were the first lady, so to speak. You even used the employees of the company as your own personal staff, ordering employees to pick you up in the company car and take you shopping or to a luncheon with friends. I heard you even had employees come to your house to clean up and cook. Some even complained that you yelled at them, demanding that they take priority for you rather than the company. As a result, several key employees ended up resigning. The company was left with an inadequate workforce. They were not able to continue projects that were prematurely postponed due to the resignation of some of those key project managers. Well, subsequently, it had adverse effects on some of the company's major projects.
But I was only trying to...
Many of those major clients had no other choice but to terminate their contracts due to lack of progress. That's where my company stepped in. We looked over the finances and future potential of the company and decided to acquire the company. Simply put, we bought you out.
Bought us out? You mean your company purchased my husband's company? You own our company?
Yes. I won't get into the details regarding the negotiations, but some aspects of your husband's company, such as experience and connections in the industry, would be an advantage to us. Your husband made the decision to sell the company to us rather than see it go bankrupt. I think it was a very hard decision for him, but it was the right one in my opinion.
Bankrupt? Bought out? What's going on?
I'm sure your husband kept this all from you because he knew you would do something stupid to disrupt negotiations.
He kept that from me?
I'm sure you noticed that company employees have ignored your requests lately. Your husband already puts the gears into motion. It was only a matter of time before he was no longer the owner. So he told his employees to pay no attention to you, to just ignore you.
He did that?
We conducted negotiations numerous times over the last several months. It involved your husband, Brad, who was slated to take over the company, as well as me and my top executives. In the end, your husband opted to sell the company rather than see it go bankrupt. As for Brad, we decided that he would take over as vice president of the newly formed company, a subsidiary of my company.
Brad is going to be vice president of this company? And who's going to be the CEO of this company?
That would be me, for now.
Well, it should be Brad!
That was not solely my decision. It was voted on by the board of members, a sound business strategy. Well, during this time, Brad and I started seeing each other on occasion. First, it was all business, but gradually we got to know each other. Well, you know the rest. And that's where we are right now.
If that's the case, could you talk to my husband and ask him to rethink this divorce?
You want me to persuade him?
Yes, that's right. It's the least you can do for me. If you do that, I'll let you work for however long you want, and we can forget all about that housewife training, and I'll give you permission to marry my son Brad. What do you say?
I don't need your permission to keep working or to marry Brad. I'll do as I please.
Pardon me? How could you say that?
I wish you would get this through your head that you have no power to change any of this.
Please, Jenny, don't be that way. Listen to me.
I believe your lawyer is on the way to discuss your divorce. You're probably pretty busy, so I better get going. Bye! Two months later, we welcomed some new staff members to our company. Several members from the newly acquired company and our team started working together, and things got off to a great start. As for Cynthia, the divorce proceedings went through without a hitch, with her husband providing her with a reasonable financial package, and even introducing her to a fairly good employment opportunity. But on her first day on the job, she took an overly long lunch break without permission and got fired on the spot. She's never worked a proper job before and does not possess any sort of work ethic, it seems. So all she had to live on was her modest divorce money, but that hit rock bottom pretty quick. She ended up coming to me and Brad for help, but Brad brushed her off. She had no choice left but to return to her parents' place in the country. I hear she's living in some beat-up apartment there, working at some local grocery store, trying to make ends meet.